All right, good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening. If you can hear me loud and clear, can you type in a yes for me in the chat? And welcome to this week live from YouTube and Facebook. And tonight's topic is very, very interesting. And for the very first time, I'm sharing about this topic, in terms of using QiMen, and very importantly, is talking about, how to make time and how to use time big decision, using QiMen. And that is something that I truly love. And that's also one of the many, many reasons why I work so hard, to study as much as I can into the world of QiMen, especially when it comes to forecasting and execution. All right. And with that, tonight I'm going to share with you 3 case study, okay, which I've kind of recently done. Okay, I can't really show you the actual charts and things like that, but I can tell you the story behind it. And of course, I can tell you the actual person because those are very, very sensitive data, but they are all real case study. I mean, of course, you can be skeptical. You can say, you just say only, maybe you just create all the story yourself. You can think that way. I won't stop you. I will not deny you. I mean, it's your choice. It's your life, right? I can't say anything. But I know for sure it is true for me and they are real story, all right? Because there's no incentive for me to create lies, in terms of this way. And I don't need to be honest, because it's been coming to 10 years that I've learned QiMen. Yeah, in fact, it is going to be my 10th anniversary very soon. Maybe I should do something, to celebrate my 10th anniversary of learning QiMen and Chinese metaphysics. And anyway, so QiMen is very powerful, and personally, I love QiMen. And how many of you over here heard about or know about QiMen 遁甲 type of one? How many of you first time into my YouTube live or Facebook live never heard about it? Type of 2. Okay, and by the way, if you're listening to me live right now, can you please like and share, right? So this is something I'm not very good at, but please like and share for me. So the intention of doing this live, as give me some time to recap, is to really to support everyone during these turbulent times. The truth is the worst is not over yet, as you might read from the news, feel the economy, and hear all these things. You know that there's still some turbulence going around. Yes, I know the stock market is climbing, is breaking new highs. I know crypto is climbing as well. There's some good news, but personally, how I look at it, and looking at the forecast for 2027, I do foresee things not really. Okay, we'll talk more about that if there's ever a chance. But to me, still not yet. All right, at least from how I see it. Okay, so yeah. Cool. Okay, so there's quite a number of you who are, 1. None of you are 2. So, okay. Tonight, let me jump right into QiMen. And like I said, the main topic of QiMen, if you want to learn, first one is forecast, second one is execution. In fact, these 2 are together. They are not separate. And if you today just learn forecast, great. It is really amazing. And there are many, 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 many sources out there you can learn from. And I believe most of them are amazing. Right? And the truth is, I realize if you just learn forecast, it's only 50% of the whole equation. You need the other 50% to solve problem. You see, the only reason I learn QiMen or anyone who learns QiMen is to solve problem and get results in life. Unless you want to use it for being a scholar, sure, you can, be a scholar, which I know some people is like really love QiMen as a wisdom, as a strategist, as a tactic, very fascinated with the history. Yeah, great. But for me, I use it in my daily life. I use it in my business decision. I even use it in my investment, right? I use it in helping people a lot, actually, giving advices. And one of the cases that I truly love is I love to use it for legal case. Okay, so out of the 3 case study that I'm going to share with you tonight, one of them is going to be a legal case. Okay, and this just happened recently. All right, so I'm going to give you the full complete picture, how I do it using forecast and execution. How many excited to know this? Type a yes. Okay, cool. All right, so the first one I'm going to share with you is quite familiar, and I've been talking about this for the last 5-6 years. And this happened quite a few years ago, and it's one of my favorite forecasts, if you ask me. It's one of my favorite forecasts. And let me open the slides just to share with you, because I feel, this has been, if you've been to my masterclass and everything, you'll probably hear me talk about it before, because this one I've been talking about it. And this one is forecasting itself. This is forecasting. All right, so then later I'm going to share with you one case which I use it just for execution. Then the third case I'm going to share with you tonight is the combination of both. All right, so let me share my screen. Hopefully this works. Okay, so let me share my screen well. Okay, so as you can see over here, this is an actual Telegram screenshot of this person who texted me on 25th of December 2025, 2021. It's on Christmas. Okay, so this one of my student, asking me like, my son need open heart surgery. What should I do? Can I ask QiMen for a solution? Something like that. Because this person also don't know what's happening. And of course, like suddenly the 17 years old son need an open heart surgery. You sure panic lah. That's the first thing, right? So this one has an actual forecast chart. I still remember I used back this chart. All right. So back then, to be honest, I didn't know anything about the son's condition. All right, so this is the actual message, right? I can read for you, just in case you cannot see. So it's like, good morning, Roy. Merry Christmas to you. I wonder I can ask you for some urgent help for QiMen, forecasting for my son who is asked to have a surgery on his heart. If it's convenient for you, I know you're having a holiday now, right? So son heart condition could be the after effect of whatever, right? So I blanco that away. So I asked, okay, what question? He said, I just want to know whether I can rely on the solution given by my current electrophysiologist, or some of my friends asked me to get a second opinion. So to be honest, that was 10:54 a.m. in the morning, and I'm still like having my Christmas holiday. And I don't know what is this word called electrophysiologist. To be honest, I don't know what's that. It doesn't ring a bell to me. I just know heart condition, surgery. These are my 2 keywords that stuck with me, to be honest, right? So I said, you wanted to know the solution to his heart condition, right? All I want to know, what's your question? That's all I need to know, whether I should go for second opinion, and the earliest appointment I get is 3rd January. By right, my son is scheduled to go for procedure next Wednesday, and my son's condition is quite risky according to the doctor. whether to wait until 3rd January for second opinion or to go ahead with the surgery with this current doctor. I postponed the surgery for the time being to have some time to think. I said, okay. So what I did was, based on that time, I plotted this chart. And this is what I've read. And I created like a very nice document and sent it back to the mother. Right? But I'll give you the summary for this. Okay? So over here, this forecast said the heart can heal by itself. There's some hidden problem beside the heart condition. So the heart is not just the main issue. There's some hidden problem. Right? So electrophysiologist is good. To me, it's the same. I thought it's a heart surgeon. But apparently there's a different name for this particular specialist. Okay, it's good, but very expensive. And the mom was shocked because she's like, how do you know it's expensive? Because she never told me that she found the top electrophysiologist in the country to operate on the sun. Obviously, it's expensive, right? She never tell me that, but I can read from the chart. All right, and I also say that it's going to be an open heart surgery. It's very painful, and there might be some issue from there, which means even with the open heart surgery, there might be some issue. All right, so I said the only way that you want a second opinion is to seek overseas treatment or TCM doctor. That's what I said. Okay, and I even told the mother the treatment is in the southeast direction. That's it. That's all the answer I gave. Then I think she replied, a little bit. Then she said, oh, it's not possible to go overseas because if you know that date, during that time what happened, right? So there's no way they can go overseas. It's a bit too late. Then of course the mom was like, okay, if there's a chance to look at alternative, then I mentioned TCM. She's like, okay, maybe I can look for it. But at the same time, she also want the son to go through the surgery, but also scared the surgery affect the son because the son is only 17 years old. How many understand the dilemma of the mom and the stress she have to go through? Yeah. So that's what happened for her. You get what I'm trying to say? So then the treatment is in the southeast direction. So she literally take the Google map, put where her house is, and then she point towards the southeast, and she literally go and look for a clinic that can do traditional Chinese medicine. And interestingly, she found it. All right, and if you notice the time that this thing happened is like 24th, 25th of December. And she need the surgery by 3rd January, which the doctor gave her because the doctor said it's very urgent. So can you imagine that few days, she was literally panicking through the new year. All right, so long story short, she really found it, and then this text later on she gave me. So she said that today I went to follow up with the initial TCM doctor. She consulted her professor who was trained her before, and she referred her professor to me. Her professor doesn't recommend surgery for 17 years old, afraid there'll be side effect after the surgery. Her professor is from China and has been treating heart patients for many years. How many remember that I told her to seek overseas treatment? So apparently it's not overseas treatment. It's like the doctor is from China and the doctor actually stranded in, by the way, this story is in Kuala Lumpur because of what happened right in the world. So I'll get an appointment to see him tomorrow and see what it says. Okay. Meanwhile, this is a credential of the professor, right? She sent me. I really didn't take a look. Right. So 3rd of January, she gave me the latest update. I canceled the surgery. All right. Today I went to look for the professor recommended by the TCM doctor. He went through the report and he doesn't agree for surgery for 17 years old. He told me to look for one doctor in the same hospital under the Western medicine. Only look for him and no other doctors. So this doctor did additional tests, which other doctors I met did not do. Conclusion for today, he will not ask my son to do surgery but to take medication for 21 days. After that, see whether there's any improvement. So he said to take his medication together with traditional Chinese medicine, which will be prescribed by the professor. So both my son and I are relieved to hear that at least we can see some light. That's it. She's happy. And till today, the son never had any surgery. That's what I know, right? And then actually the second part of the story is that 6 months later, the mom actually got like those Malay massage lady to help massage the son. And the massage lady said that the son's heart condition and heart issue is due to the lymphatic system being blocked. So that forecast was correct as well. That was like months later, the mom told me. But anyway, so I'm just so happy till today, even till today, that this is one of my best, the most favorite forecasts of all. Of course, I've done multiples, right? Many this kind of different kind of forecasts. Just last year, I also helped a friend, a very close friend of mine, to forecast for the son. Unfortunately, it's stage 4 cancer, right? But I'm able to detect that it is blood cancer, because the initial test, when they first did it for the first 1 or 2 days, the doctor will say something else. I say no. I say the forecast say it's blood cancer. Then she trusted me, and they went towards that direction, found the cause, and within a week they start chemo. Thankfully, the son is fully recovered today. Okay, so I've like many such cases. It's very stressful, to be honest. Not easy, to do health forecasting. Okay, and by the way, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I want it to be interactive. I don't want me just telling stories, and just listening to me throughout the whole session. Okay, yeah, feel free to ask me questions. So that's the first case study in terms of how to time, big decision using QiMen, all right, using forecasting. The second one was one of my private client. So he raced car for fun. Okay, yeah, it is a hobby. And by the way, it's not just for fun, but he's a professional car racer. Not F1, F2, those kind. He raced for certain brands. So he has his own team. So he created his own pit crew, his own mechanic. Now he has got his own media team. It's like a real F1 racing, but on a smaller scale. It's not cheap to race car, by the way, but he make it in a way profitable for him. So anyway, he's just a professional race car driver. And very thankful I've met him. A very rich guy. And of course, he got connection to billionaires, to multi-millionaires, in this region as well. So I learned a lot from him. So one thing I did for him last year was when he was racing. So it's like, how do you apply QiMen forecast and QiMen execution for car racing, right? So there's one particular race, he was not very confident. And in fact, this guy intuition is strong, it's pretty strong. And he felt a bit off for that race. So he asked me to plot a forecast chart, which I did. And I specifically tell him that race, because every race he wants to go to get P1 or P2. But P1 is position 1, position 2, right? Yeah, so that's the whole race, so-called jargon. So he said he wants to get position 1 or position 2, right? Usually they want position 1, they don't want position 2 for that race. So in that chart, forecast chart, I could see that the race is going to start off, and somewhere around the race, there will be a crash in front. within the first, second, and third position. There will be a crash, like a car crash. A bit like an accident. How do you understand this type of yes? So I saw in the forecast chart. If you really want to know, I need to dig out. All right. But anyway, don't ask me how. But back then, I just saw it using the QiMen chart. Okay. And I remember I specifically tell him I got, it's all in my WhatsApp chat. I mean, I can pull out one day. I think I should use it as a case study. Anyway, so I specifically told him, please stay at 4th position throughout the whole race. I told him that. Keep it at 4th position because he's such a great racer. He can do that. In fact, he's capable of getting the first place and things like that. So I told him, you wait, be patient, stay at 4th position, wait for the crash to come. Because if there's a crash between 1, 2, or 3, hopefully not you, which is the 4th car, you can go up to the front and you can take the pole position, right, which is the 1st position. Guess what happened? Can you type in the chat for me? Guess what happened? Yeah, anyone have any insights? Guess what happened, everyone? So what happened was this. He got up to the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd position. I think he was at the 2nd position. He got impatient. And he got into accident. Then the person at the back went past him, and I think he finished at 6th or 7th position. All right, so that is one question, on forecasting and things like that. So I can share with you another story, which is the same person on execution. So this story is also the same. He went to one of the racetrack, and he needs to win the race. And it's like he knew it's a very tough race. He said, okay, is there any way QiMen can help me? So I even asked him for the whole racetrack. And I still remember it's Sydney racetrack, right? Sydney. So they use the F1 racetrack. So I went to see the whole Sydney racetrack. I see the compass position, north, south, east, west, and everything, which I'm going to show you one of the case study later. And then I will plot the QiMen chart, and I'll know how to move with the QiMen chart. So I gave him very specific instruction. At this timing, you do this. At this timing, you move towards this. At this timing, you sit in the car. At this timing, this is what you do. Okay? And then, of course, he won the race for that particular race. Okay? All right, so yeah, cool. All right. Okay, so a question from new2828. How to learn this? I've taught this, forecasting for sure. I've taught this in QiMen Battle Mastery, which you can attend next year for 2027. Okay, and execution, I taught that this year as well, for investment ones. All right, but next year, I might, don't hold me. I might do 2 rounds of QiMen Battle Mastery. How many likes to come for both? Type of me if you like to come for both round of QiMen Battle Mastery. And I realize it's a very valuable skill, and a little bit wasted that students have to wait for 1 year before they attend again. And if they missed it this year, like many of you, which is in May, then you're going to wait for 1 year. So I was thinking maybe we can do it every 6 months, so you don't have to wait for 1 year. How many likes that? If you'd like to attend both QiMen Battle Mastery, type in me if you love to attend that. All right, so I know it's you, and things like that. Okay, cool. All right, let me share with you the third story. If there's any question, please type in the chat. Okay, so this third story is a friend of mine actually asked me to help the son So apparently the son was young back then, I think 2 years ago, and got into some issue, teenagers, was being caught by the police. And then when my friend asked me for help, is the actual day itself that needs to go to the court. Because then on the actual day, at the morning, the judge will decide to give the son a verbal warning or will give us the son a sentence, right? Which means needs to go to jail or needs to like maybe have a record, right? So obviously my friend is very stressed, right? Being the father and mother, they're very stressed, because can you imagine, same thing, I think 16, 17, that is like the troubling year, is where sometimes kids just do silly things, which I've also done silly things before, right? Everybody does it. I don't know about you, but me too. So anyway, so the father and mother both came to me and asked me for help. So the first thing I did was I plotted a forecast chart. Okay? And according to the forecast chart, I look at it, the sun will be okay. That's what I see, in short, all right? I can't really show you the forecast because I don't want, this is a public live, so I just want to protect the identity of the person and all these things, all right? So, true story, and it just happened recently, to be honest. All right, so just to, so I did a forecast, and I assured my friend, like, okay, your son will be okay. And then I said, okay, on actual day, so this is what I can teach you and I can show you, is I asked where is the court. Okay, so let me share with you. So what I do is I use the Google Map. Can you see? Okay, I use the Google Map, so I can see this is the Google Map of Singapore. All right. Obviously, that case wasn't in Singapore; it was somewhere else. So, but anyway, just want to show you where Singapore court is. Okay. So you can see the Singapore Family Court, State Court, right, or Supreme Court. Okay. So depending where is the court, so you have to see. So you can see Singapore Court is here. All right. Can everybody see here? Singapore Court. So it's in the south of the island. Okay, so this is Singapore Island. All right, of course, this is my location. All right, so what I do is very simple. One thing about QiMen is other than just back-facing, all right, personally, another way of using QiMen is moving towards the direction. So this is something I've done a few times, and I do it specifically to really resolve legal cases. All right. So far, the 1, 2, 3, I think 3 legal cases which I've helped, and 1 is an exam. 4 all went through successfully. 4 out of 4 so far. Thankfully. All right. I wouldn't say it's just me, but it's just, how I, able to read this and all these things. All right. So it's the south of Singapore. So I will read the chart, the QiMen chart for that day, and I will know where to move to. All right. So let me show you again what I mean by that. Okay. So for example, if that day I wanted, or if the direction is south, so what I'll do is I'll ask the person to either go to Woodland, okay, which is the north of Singapore, okay, and then at a very specific time, wait there, and then move towards to the south of Singapore. Okay, if that day the person have to move north. North is a little bit tricky for Singapore because our state court is at the south. So I'll get the person to go to Sentosa Island, or a specific 1 degree 15, as you can see. Marina. Okay, which is just north of Singapore, at the south of Singapore, can you see? So the person can move north. Okay. Of course, ideally is to go this way lah. But then you'll be like, Roy, oh, is it okay that the person actually, go this way and then go one big round and then come back down? Yeah, it's okay because your starting point is in the south. Okay. What if the person needs to move towards the west? Then this person can start at East Coast Park, for example. Maybe East Coast McDonald's. Okay, something along the line. But I don't understand why the Google Map go one big round lah, to be honest. Yeah. Hi, Google Map. I think something is wrong, right? I think you can go straight, right, Google Map. So I don't understand why Google Map go one big round, but I think you can go by this way to hit the court lah. All right. Anyway, if this person needs to go east, maybe you can start from West Coast or somewhere, all right, or Bukit Panjang. West Coast Park maybe. Okay, something along that line. All right, I've not done east or west before. Yeah, so same thing. I think you can drive across like that. Okay, not entirely, but you go a bit here and there, right? But you get the gist of it. So the goal of that is to move towards the direction. Okay, of course there are details in terms of the distance, in terms of the timing, in terms of the precision, right? But the overall concept is to move towards the direction, okay? And that is powerful because you are using the direction energy and the timing energy, you layer them together to do that. All right, so for this particular case, what happened was this. So we did a forecast to determine whether is the case going to be okay or not. All right, so then the case, I knew that would be fine. Okay, thankfully. So then I said, okay, for example, the court hearing is, let's say, Monday, for example, right? Which timing? Because usually they will give you the timing first. Then I'll say, okay, before the case start, right, you need to go to this place. I always be very specific. Of course, I won't tell the person how I did it and things like that because it's very complex, right? And the parents will be like, so fumble and everything. So I just give them very specific instruction. Go to this place, stay there, this timing, start driving, this timing, this way, go there. When you reach the court, what you do, how you back face, everything walk into the court. And then, after that day morning, my friend texts me. Thank you, bro. My son is okay. Yeah, so that's very thankful. Of course, very happy to hear that. Then there was another case. Another person was being sued for some legal matter as well. So I also helped this person. This person also was very stressed for a few months. So apparently it's not him alone. It's also another colleague together, because it's like a similar case. So he has some reference, right? So anyway, so what happened was the colleague went to the case first, and then his case lasted for the whole day and finished after dinner. And then this colleague got to pay full damages, for example. Okay, then I helped this guy, and what he told me after he finished, of course he can't even text me actually. He just only can say settle. He can't even tell me the details on text because it's like, they have to sign an NDA and everything. So he got to meet me in person. And of course, I can't tell you the details, right? But in short, it's like this. The friend finished after dinner. this guy with QiMen finished before lunch. This guy got to pay full. My friend paid not full. That's the answer. Literally almost like nothing. Okay? So super happy. Like that. That's how I am, seeing QiMen and helping. One of my ex so-called boss also solved like now helping like settling like some big cases and things like that as well. So this is how I did it. To me, it's not rocket science because if you understand the energy, you understand patterns, you understand how things move, that's where you can get results. I wouldn't say it's guaranteed, but I would say it definitely helps you to increase your chances because you does increase your vibrational energy. All right, so I'm going to answer some question. All right, so you have Jean. Hi, hello, Roy. I'm a person who likes space. Unfortunately, the social etiquette and behavior, especially expected of a woman, do not correspond to my nature and personality. Should I just leave? Thanks. Oh, so sorry. I don't understand what you mean. Yeah, Jean, I really don't understand your question. Like, what do you mean by social etiquette and behavior aspects? Yeah, so sorry. Yeah, so anyone have any question, please please ask in the chat. I'll probably answer 2 or 3 questions, right, pertaining to tonight's live, right, how to time big decision using QiMen. Okay, so the way I make decision nowadays is forecasting. And if I need to shift my energy for negotiation, meetings, close a deal, sign partnership, that's where I rely a lot on 365 ritual, where you choose good dates, good time, good direction to layer the energy so that you move with precision alignment. Okay, so that's how it is that I'm doing nowadays. And QiMen forecast especially, for that. Okay, cool. All right. Any questions tonight, anyone? Thank you, Susie. Thank you. New. Thank you, Xiani. All right, and Hui Fang as well. Okay, is there any questions? Or maybe I look into Facebook and see if there's any question in the Facebook. Because we have 2 live, actually, apparently, in 2 different platforms. Okay, let me take a look from the one in Facebook, if there's any questions from anyone. Okay, great. All right. Okay, so let's see if there's any other questions. Oh, okay. Jean asks again. I've been ejected from association here. Oh, should I respond in court or just accept the rejection? Sorry, could not just say it. Oh, so sorry about that. Jean, I think that is quite a serious one. I need more details. I can't really do this in live. I mean, so if you could get the context, somehow through Crystal or whatever, I see what I can help you with, right? So yeah. Mean Prism, is it called QiMen Mobility Direction? I don't know what is it called, so sorry. I like to call it execution, all right? Because the way QiMen execution does is this. It's a specific direction at a very specific time, okay? And like I mentioned, QiMen is more about using the direction because if you look at the QiMen chart, there's 8 compass direction. So at every 2 hours QiMen chart, it will be 1 or 2 auspicious direction out of the 8 direction, every chart. Sometimes it's very, very auspicious, like a 10 out of 10, of course. Sometimes it's like maybe 1 out of 10, but it's still auspicious, right? So depending on the chart you use. So if there is flexibility for you to choose, then obviously you can choose the most auspicious chart that favors you. So my friend came to me when the court already decided the date and the time. To be honest, I don't know, maybe, I just help enough people to go for court hearing and court, that kind of like, mainly it's court hearing or, attend courts, things like that. I don't know what's the term. There are cases where you can choose date and time, which I've done before. So if you can do that, then that's where we'll look through a good date, good time, and good direction, because then we can work things in our favor. But if it's something that's given to you, you are stuck with the date and the time, then we just have to work with the direction. All right, so hope we answer your question. So Hui Fang, if cannot walk towards the court in the direction, any other things can be done. So you cannot walk towards or move towards, in this case, because driving from Woodland down to the court, I don't think you want to walk lah. That's like 20 kilometers. I think it'll take you 1.5 hours under the Singapore hot weather. You'll be sweating, walking to the court, right? Yeah, with your hair all wet and everything. So just kidding. So you could actually do something outside the court, right? And personally, what I gave specially to my friend, the son, is a very special oil. Something like a celestial oil. So that's why I also, previously gave the son like the bracelet and also the wood would help increase the vibrational energy, because at the end of the day, it's all about your vibrational energy. Really, really, really. All right, it's part of your vibrational energy. So that will help you as well, especially for the court hearing. So to me, like the celestial wood, celestial incense, celestial oil, especially the oil itself, I personally love it. I bought a lot myself to keep it, okay, by the way. Okay, so we can literally use forecasting on any aspects, any limitation. Yeah, I believe so. I don't understand what you mean by any aspects. So far, the one that I have done, ranging from business decision, health, the common one is looking for a job. I got one student looking to hire. These are the common ones. For me, are business partnership, investments, right? The more interesting ones is at one point, please don't ask me to do that nowadays, but at one point, I get a lot of requests to look for lost pets. Okay, so the lost pets ranging from pet dragon to cats. Cats have, I think, dogs, right? From pet dragon to dogs to hamster. That's the smallest I found. Yeah, so these are the kind of animals that's being lost and I help to find. Then what else? Forecasting, yeah, like car racing is one very interesting one. Legal cases, there's quite a few. QiMen Feng Shui, that's something that I've just done today for one of the friend who wants to put OTP down for a house. So then I asked, you want to ask in what aspect? So this person say health, career, and wealth. So straight away I can say, okay, health is not good, career is good, wealth is not good for the house without seeing feng shui. That's a quick forecast, all right? Personally, for feng shui, I would still love to look at feng shui. I'll use forecast to verify. I will not choose a house based on forecast. You can, but I just find not practical enough, because feng shui, there's so much aspects of things, right? So I would rather go down, take the luo pan, and just look through the energy and determine all the entire map of the house, and then I will verify that with a QiMen chart to determine so. Okay, so I do that for my own apartment in Singapore, and even if you're staying in a landed house, especially if you stay in a landed house like 3-story, please apply feng shui, okay, because there's so many things that could go wrong, all right? Yeah, so okay, thank you, Ming Prison. Sometimes I wanna rely on QiMen knowledge in my brain rather than on physical object like crystal. Is it bad to have mentality? Uh or in my brain, yeah, correct. Nothing wrong. I think it's just personal preference. Yeah. And just so you know, before I learned QiMen, I also heard about crystals, and I wasn't very into crystals. Really, I wasn't even into crystals. I wasn't even into my celestial wood to begin with, right? This celestial wood was given to me, and even that at the beginning, I was very skeptical. And I'm just a naturally skeptical person, but I'm open minded. Okay, can you be skeptical and open minded? Yes, you can. All right, so which means open minded with skepticism. I don't know if there's such a word. Anyway, I just make that up. All right. So yeah, so I'm open minded because when my friend gave it to me, I still accepted it. And but I was like, how does this wood work, right? Like, does it work and things like that. So then only then or when I tested it myself, but I'm open minded to test it. That's the thing. Pass it to my loved ones, then they try it. Then this thing just came back. Right, so just so you know, when I first started QiMen, I rely a lot on QiMen forecast, manifestation, and things like that for the beginning. And I was never a crystal person until last year. I think it's all affinity. I bought my team member to Taiwan, and while we have that break for everybody to free and easy and shopping, I went to look. And then I found this store and they sell crystal, and I realized that store just opened my mind in the world of crystal. Because back then my limited mind of crystal are all like citrines, like the amethyst, those very like basic entry level crystal. I didn't know in the world of crystal there's like the LV level, there's a Hermes level. And now I'm into crystal for the last 2 years. I realize people are paying millions of dollars for crystal in China. Literally millions. And they carve it into statue and stuff like that. So when I research into that, I realized that crystals, the good quality ones, they have energy. They have energy. So can you rely 100% on QiMen? Yes, you can. Right? And you can disregard other things, sure. But personally, I love to layer energy. Because if today I can move in to a place using my current energy, I'm using my current energy. But if I can move in a place with feng shui energy, with my bazi energy, with my QiMen energy, and my celestial ritual energy, which is, the some of the things that I have, isn't that more powerful? My question to you is yes or no? You decide. So since last year I was into crystal, so this is my crystal. And I only have one. I don't have multiple. So for me, I always like to buy good quality, just one. I mean, it is not. It's more pricey for sure. But I rather buy a good one with energy than to buy 20 with not much difference, right? So that's just who I am. Yeah, so I love this. I've been wearing this for 2 years. They have helped me a lot. That's my crystal, and that's the only one I've wear. Now I'm planning to get another one. That's all. Maybe I'll just have this two, and that's about it. Okay, hope I answer your question. Mean prison. Okay, yeah. All right. Is there any more question, everyone? Okay, good. If not, have. Thank you so much for joining the live tonight. Please help to like and share, everyone. And if you want to find out more. We have the upcoming Celestial Retreat, in December. And if you want, you can, contact my team. And we are doing a webinar soon. I believe it's next week. All right, and you can get the dates for them. You come in live. I'll share with you what are we going to do in Celestial Retreat 2026 this year, and we have a very, very special retreat this year. And every year retreat is the same but different for sure, because every year is upgraded content, every year is upgraded in terms of the experience, and every year we do similar but entirely different things, so that students who came back over and over and over again, they get the entire different transformation. And the whole goal of the retreat is to layer QiMen, 八字, Feng Shui, and I Ching in that 5-day, 4-night, so that you get the results by coming in with a dream and you walk away with actionable strategies. All right, and this year the retreat will make it in a way that's personalized to you as well. So when you walk in, you get your charts, you get everything in your hands. So when you walk out, you know exactly what you need to do for the year of 2027. Okay, the unique things about us also, when you before come for a retreat, we have pre-coaching, and after you finish, we have post-coaching as well. All right, and we'll guide you through step by step of the way, handhold you. So that's why it's very immersive, it's very inclusive, and it's very exponential. All right, so and we also have some amazing speakers who are my friends, and couple of them are my mentors, where I specially invited them to share with you. All right, so you don't have to pay extra thousands of dollars to listen from this amazing speaker and other amazing speakers, all in one venue for 5 days, 4 nights, with the same intention and the same topic. And this year we are talking about Forge Your Fire. Okay, so it's entirely worth it. And come for the webinar. For those who are joining us as public, will include everything for you, right? Which includes your meals, your accommodation, or your logistics, your welcome gift, your workbook, and everything. And I just love something like that for myself, which I can't really find. So I created this for you, okay, so that you can come, and all you need is just to get your air tickets. Fly in to the venue on the day and fly out on the day, when we finish. Okay, cool. All right, so with that, thank you so much, everyone. Thanks for joining this live, and I'll see you next week, same time, same channel. This is Roy Phay. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.